Okay, welcome everyone. So this session is on the listing presentation, and we're going to get into some technical things. So put your roller skates on. I am recording this, so you have a recording version, and you can also reach out to me. I will help you. So before we get into the listing presentation, I just want to share with you a question a lot of you have been asking about Moxie. So in Moxie, I'm going can you see my screen
I only see you.
to share? All right. Can you see it now, you guys?
Now I can.
Okay. So in Moxie, going into 20, you go to 21 online, 21online.com. You log in, and your username is first name dot last name at century21.com, and your password is something they assign you. Once you are here, upper right-hand corner is menu, and menu has a list of things you can go to. For Moxie, you go to Productivity Hub, and almost everything is in Productivity Hub alphabetically. So I'm clicking on Moxie, and you can see it's alphabetical. It starts with awards, then it goes to brand studio. This is where social media is. Then it goes to your business cards. This is also where you can order postcards. And as you go down, it has everything. Over here is C21 University. This is where you can sign up for classes. So all of them, these are all the vendors that Century 21 works with, and each one has a portal into their portal. So you sign into here, then you click on this, and then you have to click again. So for example, we are going to Moxie Engage. I just want to show you Moxie Engage first. So there's Moxie Engage, that's your CRM, all your contacts go here. This connects to your Gmail when you log in. It also is where you upload your contacts. And then Moxie Present is here. This is your CRM. So this is your all your contacts. You can save a search in here for your contacts. You can do emails, neighborhood news, so they can get updates on where they live. Moxie Impress is marketing, mostly for your listings, but you can get creative in there and do things for yourself as well. And then down here is Moxie websites. You all have a website. You can edit it. You can go in there, and it's pretty easy to do. So your suite of staying in touch with people is all here. So I'm going to go to Moxie Engage for Michelle. And when you go in, it takes a minute. Oh, I'm already in there. Hold on. So I logged in there to Moxie Engage, and it brought me here. And this is the landing page for all of Moxie. And then I have to click engage again. And again, engage is the CRM, it's where your contacts are. Present is your CMA, then you have your website, and then impress is just for advertising. So I'm going to engage. And you have a dashboard. So I'm going to the agent mode, and now I'm in the agent dashboard. Okay. Now, here are all your contacts. When you first log in, it gives you things like, this person clicked on a neighborhood review presentation. And so we created that a couple weeks ago, and I guess we clicked on it. So it lets me know, and then I can go look. All right, so recent contact and interactions is what I have here. The default is this, stay in the flow. And when you stay in the flow, you're going to see any recent contacts. So there's different ways you can control all of this, and there's gears that you can do to change things however you want to be notified. Now for downloading contacts, you would go to this gear right here. No matter where you are in Moxie Engage, the gear here next to the email is for import contacts. Okay, so I'm clicking import contacts. And then in import contacts, it says download the CSV file. And this is how you would go into Gmail and Google has their own CSV file. This is MoxieWorks template. So when I look at this and I go to save, this is what it looks like. So you can see the headers, and you can't just change the headers on your CSV file that you have through Google. You have to go in and copy and paste the first name, the last name. If
Right,
you mess around with the headers, just remember there's code in there.
right. I know. Yeah.
And
Okay.
other people that, oh, no, no, I do it. I've done it other places. It's not gonna work.
Right. Right.
So
Okay.
that's how you do it.
So populate that. And so garbage in, garbage out though, right? So on my Gmail, I should, I mean, I preach this to other people and I'm going to slap myself. Name, first name, last name, their physical, address, their cell phone, their email, where they work. I mean, I should try to, so their contact card in my Gmail, I should have as much information there as possible. So when it translates over to Moxie, I got a lot, the proper data on them. Because really, I'm
Right.
pretty lazy. I have, oh, Joe from the gas station. You know
Yes.
what I mean? Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's cool. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
All right, so that's Moxie. We'll do a class on it. Moxie Engage is fun, and when you're in People, My People, then you can see all your people. And I'll just show you since we're here. When you click on a contact, so I'm going to click on a contact. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to look for a relative or something to sing. And there's no tussing. Okay, so I deleted everybody in here. So and then I started adding people. So I'll click on Larry Garfinkel. Okay, so it shows here his information, his profile, any notes that I've taken. And if I want to add notes, I just click edit and I can add a note. And then it goes down into activity, and this will show if he has opened up any of my emails, which he is. Wow. And then this is faves and saves. So if he was on my website saving a listing, it would show up here in Moxie Engage, and he would actually be looking at that. And it looks like he looked at that a while ago
I love that.
in November. And
Mhm.
then you can also create a search here. So in faves and saves, you can create a search. This is a save. And to do that, you would go down somewhere. I might not be able to. I'm not going to show you now. It's too much anyway. Oh, here it is, subscriptions. So we can add that's neighborhood news. No, we don't want to do subscriptions. I'm not sure why I can't create a search. This is where I'm supposed to be able to do it. Let's click edit. Okay, so my default is the listing office. For some reason I'm over here. I'm not really sure why. Oh, I know why, because he goes to this. So I must have saved a search for him at one point.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Okay, and then I would just over here, there's mapping tools. You could draw an area that you want, and then you hit save, and they'll get updates every time a new listing comes on the market.
Oh, wow.
And the difference between this and the MLS is they can then go in and go look anywhere they want in Connecticut. So they don't have to stay within the parameters of the MLS when you save a search. They can
Right.
actually go to your website and they can do whatever they want. So if you have curious people, I would do this. If you have people that don't really want to deal with that, then you won't. So, and then all you can add them to a group here, create groups. You can add them to the neighborhood news subscription.
Mhm.
So that is pretty much it for
Very nice.
Engage.
Pretty powerful. Thank you.
You're welcome. I know, and not enough people use this, and it's so robust. There's a lot you can do. So, what we're going to focus on in a little bit is present. And present is where you create your listing presentation. I was sharing my screen from Avon on a gigantic TV earlier today, so it doesn't know who I am. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start the session. And here we go. And here, I'm gonna probably cut a little bit of this short because I don't want to go into anything else. So I'm not going to get into were you good last week and did you make your 5 calls? So were you good last week and did you make your 5 calls a day or contacts or reaching out to people you know? Anybody have a good story they want to tell? It's okay. We'll keep going.
I do. I got a bunch of rental inquiries to look into.
Oh, well, I heard about that. That's very exciting.
And that ballooned into something else this morning that I talked to Tom about. So yeah, I'm happy. Busy,
That
but
is
happy.
fantastic. So keep in mind conversations and turning conversations into appointments. So in the back of your head, just when you're calling the people you know or reaching out or Facebooking, whatever it is, have a conversation. If you can, turn it into appointments. Now, the purpose of a good listing presentation is to be able to dominate the market. You know, when you go and get your first listing, all of us feel afraid. We're going into the unknown. It's you're thinking, what am I going to do? What am I going to say? This is what this class is for. What to do, what to say, and when. So the more you get to know the market and the more you practice doing market evaluations and presentations, the better of an agent you're going to be to the point where you can be the top agent. It's just a matter of getting over your fear, coming up with a plan, and making appointments. So your goal is to dominate the market, crush the competition because you have a secret weapon, and that secret weapon is you. Your passion, your reason for getting into real estate, your desire to do the best job. So that people feel that when you bring that to the table. Okay. And everyone does it in their own way. You don't have to be me. I get excited. You don't have to be me. You have to be you, but you have to know what you're doing. And that's what this is for. So it takes practice. Market knowledge is number one. So going into the MLS, and we talk about this every time, what is happening in the neighborhood? Company standing. We're in the top 20 in the country. That's huge. In Connecticut, we're number one, and we have been for a long time. I think since 2004. Your excitement about this comes through, and your excitement about the brand and why you're there and why should they pick you comes through as well. So your goal is to beat the competition. So you have to think in terms of what is the competition saying and what can I say? So we don't want to ever say, okay, something that's not true when you're put on the spot. What we want to say is what we're good at, okay? And have an answer if you're up against we're not number one in a lot of our marketplaces. We aren't because we're a family-owned company. We're owned by Brian and Kelly Peterson. And across the country, Century 21 companies are family owned. That means they're part of their community, more so than a lot of the corporate-owned companies. So people trust us. We have a really good reputation. We're the most recognized brand. So we'll hear more of that. You have an 18-point aggressive marketing plan of action. That is your swagger there. So, well, and I emailed it to you, and you want to read it, internalize it, change it so you understand what you're saying, so you stand behind it. Your ability to deal with questions and objections. So that is important. You hear an objection, you want to have the answer. And the answer is usually another question. Well, Jody, I saw that your office isn't number one in town. You can say, oh, I hear what you're saying. I'm not really sure what you're saying, but I will tell you that most of the people buying in this town are not from the town. So we're number one in Connecticut for all of Century 21. And, do you think that would help get more people to look at your house? It's having like other ways you can combat things. So make a list at some point of every objection that you feel like you've ever gotten or might get. And we can take a whole class and just talk about that and deal with it. But it's not hard to do. Okay. So 18-point plan of action, we're going to look at that. Your ability to handle objections. And you're always going to get at least one or two. So people feel obligated to give us an objection. It's part of what they do. So that means that's good. But you wouldn't be there if they didn't want to choose you. So you have to have the right mindset. And the mindset is, what do you think the mindset is? What does it feel like when you are nervous and fearful to go on an appointment? Do you feel like you might be a little standoffish? I know how I get. I am like, I have a chip on my shoulder. And a lot of times people don't know what hit them because they're so excited to meet me and they can't wait to talk to me. And then they meet this woman who is got a chip on her shoulder. So, oops, where I'm touching the wrong things. I'm trying to look at you guys. Here we go. So your mindset is they want to hear what you have to say. They invited you into their home. They are looking forward to talking to you. It's yours to lose. All you have to do is know some good statistics and have a good market evaluation, couple objection handlers, and a plan. That's all you need to do. So the mindset is, I'm going to get this listing. They want to hear from me, and I'm going to make this happen today. They're going to sign the contract. So let's look at the listing presentation. It's broken up into some simple things you can, just in your mind memorize. Have you ever had to memorize something and you memorize this part, then you memorize this part, and then you memorize this part? Next thing you know, you have memorized pages of materials. It's the same thing. You look at a listing presentation and you drive up to the house. Where do you park? You park in front of the house. Where do you walk in? You walk in the front entrance. Okay? You don't park in the driveway. You walk in the front entrance, unless it's like an estate or something that is set up that you can't park in the front of the house. Okay? And then you walk into the front door. Now you've started the process of thinking about this, but the picture starts when you get a lead. So your lead, somebody that wants to sell their house, it could be someone you know. It could be a friend of a friend, somebody you met at the open house, somebody from work, somebody you don't know at all, a lead came in off something else, Facebook, or it could be anything. So no matter what it is, it's somebody that wants to sell their home. Be excited. They want to sell. And no matter who they are, you want to start with a pre-qualification script so you know what you're getting into. Okay. How many of you have heard of a pre-qualification script? So I sent it in the email that I just sent, and we're going to look at it together in a minute. But we have questions that we specifically ask to make sure we're on the right track when we get there with our market evaluation and what we're going to say. So let's say I meet somebody at the grocery store. Jody, we were talking about you the other day. We're thinking we want to sell our house. That's fantastic. Let's meet Friday night. Is that good for you? Yeah, I think so. I'll talk to Harry and make sure it's good for him. Great. I'm going to call you and just make sure it works. And then you call them. And you call them with a pre-qualification script. Hey, Stacy, it's Jody. Thank you so much for inviting me over Friday night. Does that work for both of you? Yes, it does. Fantastic. Do you mind if I ask you a few questions before I come out? And then you do the pre-qualification script. If it's your brother, if it's your cousin, if it's your mother, mom, before I come out, I just want to ask you some questions. Get used to doing it no matter who it is, because then you won't have any surprises. And the surprises are, you don't expect them. And the next thing you know, you're in competition with somebody that you didn't know about. Okay. So make sure the owners are there. You've done the pre-qualification script. You dress fantastic. And then you fill out all your paperwork, get your CMA done, and get everything organized. Have a portfolio that you can bring with you on appointments, and everything is just there. You have it together, you have your folders, all the paperwork is filled out. You can leave out things that might be price or terms, but everything else is done. Your car is clean. I've had people sign the paperwork because I was organized. You don't know what the thing is that people are going to react to. Sometimes it's just being on time is all. The three other people they were meeting with, one didn't even show up. Another one was a day late or a day early. Another one was an hour late. So our job is to get there looking good, car looks good, we're organized, and we get there 5 minutes early. And 10 minutes early is okay. Not more than that. Drive around a while if you're really early, because sometimes you can't tell with traffic, so you have to go really early. Park in front of their car, park in front of their house in your car, and psych yourself up. Get yourself calm. They want to hear what you have to say. They invited you to their house. You're going to get the listing. Get in the right mindset. And why are they going to list with you? Because you're a great listing agent. They're going to sign the contract. You've got this. All right. So let's talk about the pre-listing presentation script. And I have that up here, and I did email it to you. Here we go. That's not it. I also did this. This is your listing plan of action. This is your swagger. And maybe I don't have it. Um, no PDFs. All right, I'm going to bring it up. Also, I want to show you this. Oops. For the listing presentation, This is a relocation sell sheet, why you should pick Century 21, and it has some good uh, words. And the key is you want to share with them some of the tools that we have that help us get more qualified buyers and help us capture them. So the Golden Ruler, Leads Engine, real-time lead generate website. Moxie, all the Moxie things that we have. Golden Ruler. Golden Ruler shows where people are looking at our listings from all over the world. And Boost. And Boost is something you can do right on 21 Online for yourself or your listings. So let me get the pre-qualification. Okay. And a ton of Mike Ferry stuff. And here it is. Okay. Can you all see this? Pre-qualifying the listing presentation script. Okay. So who wants to be the owner? Kristen, John Lee, Mike Howell, Stacy, Inez, Zoe. Anybody
I
want to
could be
be
the
the
owner.
Okay, great. All right, Stacy.
You
So
can hear
can you
me?
I can hear you.
Can you see
Okay.
me?
I can see you too. I don't know
Oh,
if everybody else can. I have two screens. That's why I can. Okay, Stacy, I'm so thrilled to be able to come to your house on Saturday. Can Mike also come Saturday at 10?
sure.
Pretend your husband's name is Mike. Okay, great. So, do you mind if I ask you a few questions before I come out? I just want to make sure that I don't miss anything regarding your house.
Sure.
Okay. So, if what I say makes sense and you feel comfortable and confident that I can sell your home, are you planning to list with me when I come out on Friday night?
I would like to. I have two other agents interviewing as well.
Okay, great. So that's good to know. That's all I'm going to say about that. So the next question is, are you planning to interview more than one agent for the job of selling your home? And it's important that you know that before you go because now you know what to focus on. Okay? So tell me again, Stacy, where are you moving to?
Uh, Weathersfield
Weathersfield. Excellent. Now, how soon did you want to be there?
in the next 6 months.
Okay, so you have some time. Great. How long are you
Mhm.
giving yourself to sell your house?
I'd like to have it sold in 4 months.
Okay, great. So when I see
No,
you, how much do you want to list your house for?
500,000.
Okay, great. And what price won't you go below?
475.
Okay. So see how that is. So number five says, when I see you, how much do you want to list your home for? And then if they say, I don't really know, I want you to tell me, then I would say, good, because as a professional agent in the field every day, showing houses, doing market evaluations, that's all I do is study prices. So I assume you're going to want to list with me at a price that will cause your home to sell. And in Florida, that is especially important to say. In Connecticut, we are still in a seller's market, although it may be changing a little bit. The prices aren't they don't seem to be going up right now. They seem to be staying level, so you kind of have to really do a good CMA. Okay, Stacy, how much do you owe on your property?
275.
Okay, have you ever thought about selling it yourself?
No, I don't want to deal with the headache of it all.
Okay, that's good.
I want a realtor to check people. before they come in.
Well, and that's really important. So let me ask you something. Would you be willing to help finance, or do you just want to cash out?
Yeah, I'm not going to do seller financing. No.
Okay, okay, good. And so I I know the last time I saw your house was about 5 years ago, and it's beautiful. Can you describe it for me? Have you made any updates? Or is there anything
We
that
have a new
might need
roof
to be
in
fixed?
2016.
Oh, new roof, great. Anything else?
Um, Electrical's been updated.
Great. I love what you're telling me because these are things you can't see, but they add value.
Right, right.
All right. Excellent.
Other than that, no, everything else is the same.
Okay. All right. Have you repainted or, do you feel like it's in moving condition? Are you going to want me to recommend some vendors? Or do you feel like, you know what, this is it. I want to sell it the way it is.
Well, I like your opinion when you come out and do a viewing
Fantastic.
of it.
Fantastic. I love to do that. So the other thing is, you guys, you need to have a list of people that can help for situations where maybe they've been there for a while and the house might need to get painted. You might need a landscaper to trim trees away from the sidewalk where you walk in, that kind of thing. So have those kind of people ask around the office, go on Facebook groups, call people, introduce yourself, tell them what you do. Only get people that are recommended, because a lot of vendors, they take their money and run. They don't show up.
Right.
They say they're going to do it and they never do it. We don't want to give them bad advice. So if you don't have anybody, you don't have anybody, but it's good to try to get it. Stacy, I I'm going to send over a package of information. It's going to have everything that I'm going to do to get your home sold. If you get a chance, I'd love to have you look it over before I come out. Could you take a few minutes and review it? You're muted.
Yes, I can do that.
Oh, okay,
Oh,
great.
wait.
And just so you,
What happened?
what? I hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, good. So,
I muted it because a lot of noise was going by.
um, so just so you know, our meeting should only take between 5 and 25 minutes. Is that okay?
Sure.
So I look forward to seeing you on Friday at 5. And that's it. That's a
Yeah.
pre-qualification. Any questions, you guys?
No.
All right. So I'm going to go back to the presentation. So can you see the value of having a habit doing that? Making that a habit so you have that off the tip of your tongue. I've been studying this presentation for 8 years. I counted it out this morning. So I know it. So when I talk to somebody, I'm going to ask these questions. How much do you own your house? What price are you thinking of putting on your house? And they say it, and then I say, what price won't you go below? You get that information up front, you have an edge. So that's why you want to do the pre-qualification script. And then there is a listing presentation script. We're not going to go over it tonight. And I'll tell you why, because the listing presentation should be something, it's a conversation. And I feel like when you're in front of somebody, you don't want to have a script, you want to have a system. So the system is what we're going to talk about. And then you're going to fill in what you're thinking you're going to do for every step. Okay, so we're going to create our system, our presentation. So it's a repeatable process that we do every time. So step one, be prepared. Drive by the house, take a picture, and prepare an excellent market evaluation. So when you drive by the house, what else has sold in the neighborhood? Don't even do a filter. Look at everything that is sold in the neighborhood, because even if it's not similar, it might be across the street, and that is definitely going to affect the value. So you don't want to just use houses that are similar or do filters. You want to know what's happening in that neighborhood. So drive by, take a picture, look at what's on the market. Pick 3 similar closed properties and 2 active or deposit properties. Okay, have us help you look at the comps. And don't ask for the job request with this email. At the end of this presentation, the marketing team portal is there, and that's where you ask for a job for help with the CMA. So the marketing team will do the CMA for you, but you have to have the comps. You have to tell them the MLS numbers of the comparables you're going to want to use, and you're going to want to tell them some other things too. So there's 4 components to the presentation. And, when I was creating this with Sydney, my coach, it was like, don't make it laborious. This is a conversation. You guys are smart. You know what you're talking about at this point in real estate for the most part. So this is, you want to just know what is my presentation. So we started by being prepared and parking on the road and walking up to the front door. So that really is the first part of this. Then we go to the foyer. And the foyer is where you meet them. It might be right in front of the house. It might be in the house. Let me go to the next one. So this is the foyer. So in this case, it's in front of the house, but it could be in the hallway. So the foyer is the next thing. What do I say when I get to the foyer? Okay. Then after the foyer, we're not going to just sit down yet. We're going to have them show us around the house. So what do I say when I have them show me around the house? To start with, I'm going to say, hey, why don't we meet at the kitchen table? We'll put our things there, and then we'll start by having you show me around the house. That's the tour. What do I say when I'm on the tour? Then we come back to the kitchen table and we go through our marketing plan. That is the kitchen table conversation. That leads us into the CMA, and that's where we close. So let's start with the foyer. So this is what you say. Stacy, I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much for inviting me over. I'm really excited to see your home again, depending on why you're there, and take a look and help you get it sold. So that's the foyer. Now we go into the house. We go into the house and we say exactly what I just said. Listen, I want you to show me around the house. Let's put our things at the kitchen table. And then I'm going to have let's start at the front entranceway. Okay? So you walk around and you tell them, I just want to see it from a buyer's perspective. You have your pad, you're writing things down. As you're going through the house, you want to start writing things down because you're going to forget things. So anything that is really nice, you want to write it down. Or not so great, you want to look at it while you're on the tour. So if I see, for example, a stain on a ceiling, it might be an old stain. Maybe they had a horrible windy winter and water came in through the flashing on the chimney and there's a stain and they got it fixed, but they never fixed the stain. I'm going to look at that stain and I'm going to make a note. And what are they going to do when I do that?
Wonder what I'm writing down.
Yes, they're going to see she saw the stain. I forgot about that stain. She noticed that stain. So then they're going to say, Jody, we're going to take care of that. Do you think we should get that painted? I do. I think it would really help to have it not have people wonder what happened, especially, is it an old stain? Is it a new stain? Looks like an old stain. Have them tell you the story and then just say, well, can you get that done right away? Yeah, I can. Great, because I want to do an open house as soon as we get this on the market. And so when do you think that could happen by? So you're starting to tie them down to give you when they can get things done by right from the get-go. As you're walking through, when you get to like the second or third room, you're going to say these words because you're taking notes. You're not, they may think you're distracted, you're not paying attention to them. So you're saying these words. Say, oh, I'm sorry, I apologize. I was taking notes while we are walking around. I should have asked for, I should have asked if you were okay if I took the notes. Basically, what I'm writing down are the benefits and features of your home that I'm seeing so that when we start marketing to prospective purchasers, I can make sure I include all of the points to get you the highest price. And that's it. So whatever you would say, write it down and, read it out loud a few times. Now, the first time you're at their house and going through the tour, you may not say that, but eventually you want to say this because it works. So as they bring you through the house, imagine what kind of things you're going to see and what kind of things you can say to create a bond. So we don't want to talk terms or price while we're walking around the house. They're, oh, what do you think it's worth? Well, I already gave them the CMA, so they know what I think it's worth. So that's not a problem. But what I do want to talk about are, oh, I love your colors. I can see why you bought this house. I love this open space. That closet looks really nice. It looks organized. Did you do it for this purpose or do you really live like this? And compliment them. Make them feel like you appreciate what they've done to get their house ready. And, they'll feel good about you. And when you compliment people genuinely, they think you can sell their house. If it looks like crap and it smells worse, then you're going to talk about, do you like the neighborhood? This is such a great area. Is that what made you buy it? You're not going to make compliments if it's not worth, you don't want to lie. Okay, makes sense?
Mhm.
But you can say things about, the house itself without it being negative. Now we're
Right.
done. We go to the kitchen table. Before we talk about the CMA or their price or the terms, we want to talk about the marketing plan. Build value before you talk about price. Okay? Then the price is not the price, it's the pricing strategy. We have to decide which strategy do we want to start with. So, right now, we are in Florida, prices are still going down. Connecticut, prices are in some areas still going up. Some areas they've flattened out. Some areas they've actually gone down from last year. But it could be that they haven't had a lot of sales, so it's skewed. So you have to like do the research and see what it is. Like the shoreline, some of the towns, maybe they had 8 sales. So you're not going to get a true average. So you can see what sold and get an idea, is this an average or is it not an average? And compare it and see, did prices really go down? Or was it that, last year a Thimble Island sold and this year nothing like that has sold. So it brought the prices down. So your pricing is a strategy. And then you have your 18-point marketing plan of action. That's your swagger. So I sent that too. You want to look at it and really internalize it so you know what's there. Um, when you're thinking about value, we have our brand. We have the real-time lead capture with Leads Engine. Most of the time people that call in or request something on email, text, they will work with the first agent that gets back to them. And that's why with Leads Engine, it's so important that you get that lead right away because you have a chance of having somebody that's going to buy a house right away. So you never know. But And if anybody that does research will see that. With Century 21, what makes us valuable is you. That's number one. They're picking you, they invited you to their house, they want to work with you. But then the brand opens doors. Everyone knows who we are. And it's in the listing presentation, these things. We're number one in brand recognition. We are number one in brand trust. People trust us more than any other brand and respect us more than any other brand. Our website is amazing. And like I said, we have real-time lead capture technology. We have point ads, which are geofencing. That's free for all of your listings. So as soon as you get a listing, you will get a report on the point ads showing the views that people are getting because of that. And we have marketing best practices with all of our marketing people that are part of your team. So we have transaction management that's part of your team and marketing part of your team. So you, as the sole agent, have a team standing behind you. In addition to the transaction manager, you have a manager and you have me. So you have a lot of people that are there to help you for any reason. Your average agency doesn't have all of that. And, I just want to look through before we go to the next thing, I want to take a minute and look at the marketing. So I'm going back to Moxie Present. Okay, and I did this in the previous class. I created this property, 42 Greenhurst Street, West Hartford. So I want to show you quickly how we do a Moxie Present to do a CMA. You start with Create New. You select Seller. Then you hit Continue. Then this is the hardest part. You have to change it from brokerage template to Century 21 LLC parent company. So I'm going to show you that again. It says brokerage template. That's the default. You click on that and scroll down to Century 21 LLC parent company. And these are the listing presentations you can pick from. So we have a Fine Homes and Estates, if it's a decent house in the upper end of whatever market you're in. And we also have the Espanol presentation, the residential presentation, and the commercial presentation. Okay, so we're going to do the regular seller presentation, 36 pages. So select that and continue. I always use above ground finished square footage, and then we're going to put the presentation name. For the presentation name, I always put the address. And the reason I do that is because I don't want to spell their name wrong in the presentation or have somebody in marketing, be dyslexic. If the road is wrong, it's not the end of the world. If their name is wrong, it is the end of the world. And then I would select Classic and Create. So when you do this, it brings you to the marketing. If this house has been listed previously, you can actually copy and paste the MLS number here and then copy it here. So you can go into the MLS, which I don't have open. You type in the address and it will come up. You put that MLS number here. Everything about the house auto-populates. If not, then you would fill it in here. So what is the property type? It's a single family, or is it a condo, or is it a multifamily? So whatever the property type is, you fill in. And then you put the beds, bath, square footage, all of that. The Moxie has filters that will go along with whatever you put here. And once you fill it all out, put the remarks in, then you hit continue. I didn't put any filters in. But I did put the location. Oh, I didn't put the location. So I'm going to put the location now. 42 Greenhurst. You know what? I'm going to go back. Back
Are
to,
you sharing screen? I don't see it.
I'm not sharing my screen. Hold on.
No.
What do you see?
I
I
don't
see
see
a
it.
screen.
Did no one see my screen?
Before, yeah, a map
All
was
right, I'm
on.
going to share it again. Okay, can you see it?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going back to subject property. All right, I forgot to put the address in. So I'm going to put the address in. West Hartford. Okay. And that is also the presentation name. And then I would get all this other information from the town records. Okay, and then I would upload a picture of the house because I drove by and took a picture of the house. So it's on my computer. And I would go down here and look for the picture. I thought I had a picture of it here, but I don't see it. So I'm just going to grab a picture. Okay, where's the picture? Ah, I'll use this one. All right. So the picture pops in. Then I scroll down and I click continue. Okay, and now it's based on the street. So I know the area, so I'm going to pick the houses that are close by. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So it's based on location. Now, if I have uh, already done the research before I do the CMA in the MLS, I can click on the MLS and put the numbers, MLS numbers sorted separated by comma, and then click search here, and then the listings would come up, and I still would have to click on them to get them part of the CMA. So clicking on the picture is what selects it. Okay, so now I have 4 that I've picked, and I'm going to go down here and hit continue. And here's my subject property, and it tells the average sold is 600,000 in that neighborhood with a low of 455 and a high of 825. So I could go in and, talk about them. There's all kinds of things you can do here, but I'm not going to get into the weeds there. So I click continue, and now it comes up with an average price of 600,000. I'm okay with that. I could create a range. And based on 600,000, I can do net proceeds. So this is saying the whatever the estimated sale price I'll say is 600,000. So we said before that we want to have a strategy. So we're going to talk about the strategy in the next thing. While I'm here, I want to show you one more thing. And that is your action plan. So this is the action plan. Now, the action plan is also already in the presentation, but it's not as good as this one. So I would go in there. make this yours, put your name in here. I sent this out with the invite of the class, and put your whatever information you want to put in here, put it in here. And here is your swagger. So my objectives are the following: to assist in getting as many qualified buyers as possible into your home until it's sold, to communicate to you weekly the results of our activities, to assist you in obtaining the highest dollar value between you and the buyer. That's my objective. This is how I'm going to do it. Number one, I'm submitting it to the Connecticut Multiple Listing Service, which has 17,000 realtors. We're going to price your home competitively to open the market versus narrowing the market. Promote your home at the company's sales meeting. Develop a list of features of your home for brokers to use with their potential buyers. Marketing team can do that, and you are going to do that by reaching out to the seller and developing that list based on the notes you took when you went through. Suggest and advise as to any changes you may want to make to your property to make it more saleable. Okay, so all of these things you want to read them, because I actually made this based on what you guys do. Spend 5 hours a week cold calling your neighborhood, move up neighborhoods, and find buyers for your home. So you're not just going to put it in the MLS and not do anything. You're actively and aggressively going to try to find a buyer for your home. And it's a great reason to reach out to people. Okay. So the strategy, we can add more than one net sheet. So we can have 3 different net sheets based on our strategy, which we're going to go through. And then pages. So let me just show you the pages while we're here. All right, this is the web view. I'm going to go to print view. So we have page 1. Then we talk about the selling process. That's page 2. Come on. Selling process. Okay, so marketing your home, positioning your home, contract to close. If I don't like it, I can just remove it. Okay, seller representative. So this talks about how I'm going to represent you and what our goals are. You know what? Maybe I don't like that, so I'm going to remove it. Why? Because I'm going to have that conversation legally in the paperwork that we're going to fill out. So I don't necessarily want to talk about that. In fact, I don't know if I want to, depending on the price range, I may or may not even want to do this. But I do kind of like that. I definitely don't like the other one. And then we go into why you're picking this brand to get more buyers for your home. So the more qualified buyers that see your home, the more chances are you're going to get top dollar. So this is the power of Century 21. It's being slow, so I can't really show you, but there's vivid pictures on these. They're really good. Okay, you know what? Maybe I will do 95% of buyers consider agents responsiveness very important. And this is talking about Leads Engine, real-time lead access. I'm going to go to web view. I think that's easier. Web view. Okay. So this captivating the buyer. This talks about the website too. All right, it's not going fast enough. We'll come back in a minute. I'm going back to the presentation. So we are at the kitchen table and we're starting out. So we refresh. Drove up, got there 5 minutes early. Sitting outside in our car, got ourselves into the right mindset. Walked up the front path thinking they're going to list their house with me. They're going to sign the contract. They want to hear what I have to say so that I'm at ease. I'm relaxed. I'm not defensive. Okay. So When I get to the front door, I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much for inviting me over. I'm really excited to see your home and help you get it sold. And now, would you mind showing me through the house? Let's just put my information here that I have at the kitchen table. And do you have the package that I left at your front door? Okay, so everything's at the kitchen table. Now we have them go through the house and we take notes. We say nice things. We make positive statements that shows that we can sell their house to them. Then we come back, we sit at the kitchen table, and we're going to talk about marketing before we talk about the CMA. And the CMA is the close. But before I talk about marketing, I have to take control. So how do you take control? And this is how I've always done it my entire career. And I honestly got to the point where I did not lose listings. I got every listing I went out on. And I think the most important thing is the way you start, that you have a presentation, you have a system. So when I start, I always start with statistics. So Stacy, before I go into how I'm going to market your property, I just want to share something with you. This is interesting. Uh, you bought your house in 2017. Yeah, we did. And do you know what the average price was in 2017? No, we have no, well, I know what we paid. Well, the average price in West Hartford in 2017 was about 400,000, 399. Guess what the average price is today? I don't know. The average price in the entire town is about 600,000. So we have gone up 200,000 in the entire town, and it might even be 650. So whatever it is, I'll tell them what it was, what it is. That is, I now have control because they really like what I'm saying and they want to hear more. And even if it was negative, even if when they bought the house in 2017, it was this price and now it's 200,000 less, we're going in a downward spiral. They're still just as interested. So it's important to start out just talking about the stats, pacing your conversation with them. If you're in Connecticut, it's a New York minute. People are, for the most part, quick. They want you to get to your point fast. They'll be polite and listen, but they really don't want you to take too long. So you want to go in there and talk about stats. The other interesting thing, in West Hartford, back when you bought your house, the average price per square footage was about 200,000 per square feet, and today it's close to 300,000 per square foot. You're kidding, okay? They're now calculating the square foot of their house to see what they think their house is worth. So you have them rapt attention. Okay, and now we can get into how we're going to get them the most money possible. So what I'd like to do is just share with you some things that I left with you in the presentation about how we can get you the most money. And before I get into the numbers, let me just go through, and I would go through not every page, but some of the pages here that would speak to me about why they can get more money with Century 21 than with another brand. So this first one is showcasing your home. Then the power of Century 21. 98% of the agents affiliated with Century 21, oh wait, agents affiliated with Century 21 have a 98% satisfaction rating. We are also the most recognized name and the most respected name in the industry. And we have 50 years behind that. So let's talk about the marketing advantage. Century 21 dominates the online scene with approximately 1.3 million visits per month to century21.com. And I get your property I get your property noticed on the internet where all buyers are looking. So you will have your property has its own website and it has its own landing pages. It's featured on my website. It's cross-branded through many marketing materials and different pages. It's syndicated on over 170 websites and promoted through social media feeds. So I would just say, talk about this right here. How many visits per month? Okay, so casting a wide net in digital ad campaigns, online promotions, retargeting tools, and additional marketing outreach. So we have point ads through Century 21 All Points, and we also have a program called Boost through Century 21 Corporate that is geofencing and drives more people that are looking to look at your house. So once they see your house, 83% of home buyers find photos to be very useful during their home search process. So that's why I, Stacy, always have a professional photographer do my photography. And I'll be making an appointment. I already have somebody on standby if you're ready to come by on Tuesday. And they also do drone shots. So your house will be move-in ready online and people can start visiting anytime they want to look. I am creating a feature list for you that I'm going to share with all the agents in this area and agents that have sold in this area that are not from the area to let them know personally about your home. And I have a list that know what, the nice thing about my company, honestly, is we're known for integrity. People know that we treat all buyers fairly and we want to get our sellers the most money possible. So we don't try to pocket listings and just show it to our agents. We show it to everybody. So they know they can come here and safely bring offers that will be looked at by you. And that's my job. So I do that by creating the best features list. We have more than 130,000 independent contractors, sales associates in the Century 21 system, 11,100 offices all over the world, and we're in 79 countries. So we get the word out quickly online. My favorite part about my job is we respond in real time. We have a program called Leads Engine, and as soon as somebody puts a request in, it goes to my phone with a special ring, and I'm able to be the first one to talk to them because who knows the most about your home? Me. So they're not getting somebody else, they're getting me, the listing agent. And then we go into other things. So positioning your home to sell, and then keeping you informed, strategizing. So I just wanted to go through a couple of these with you, but this is the marketing that is in your Moxie Present listing presentation. It's like stuck. Okay, here we go. So these kind of things I'm going to go through on the CMA. So I wouldn't go through this here, but I gave this to them ahead of time. I can also email it to them ahead of time so they know what I'm going to be up to. So for example, this is keeping you informed. I would do a dialogue on this based on the fact that we're going to talk once a week and I'm going to let you know what's happening. In fact, you're going to get a report card once a week showing how many people have visited your home online and what drove them there and where are they from. So I wish I could make this bigger. Let's see. It's not letting me. It's so cool because it really is one of the best things. And all of our clients get this, but you do have to ask for it in zip forms. So make sure, when you go into zip forms, you do that. Call me when you get your first listing. We'll make sure. Okay. And then it goes into all these other things, and then it gets into the listing presentation. So in the listing presentation, you have the property summary. It doesn't have one because I didn't do one. But it goes into where the house is on the map and where the other listings are on the map. And now it's kind of out of sorts. Okay, there we go. And then we have the listing overview. And so when we get to this point, I just want to show you the overview. Oh, here we go. When we get to this point, this has the subject property here, and then it has the comparables here. And you can follow it along and see the beds, the baths, square footage, so you can see how it compares to the other properties. So you want to wrap your head around this and be really good at knowing what's happening here. But I wouldn't present this here. I would keep that, like, ideally, I would come to their house with an iPad with this on it. But I would hand out from the MLS each one of these listings for them to look at with a yellow pen, highlighting the features that are similar to theirs. And why I picked this, because this is where you can get them to price their house correctly. And this is where you will get them to close. So we're now in the CMA, okay? So our goal for the kitchen table was showing them the 18-point plan of action, which we upload here, and that's this one. Where to go? Oh, maybe I closed it by mistake. Okay, that's your swagger, the 18-point plan of action. And then the different tools that can get more buyers into their house than anybody else. And starting with what happened when they bought their house in 2017, what things are going for now, average days on the market. Okay, and then we go to the close. So the close, based on the marketing, we know we're going to get as many qualified buyers in here as possible to get you the most money possible. So going through these different houses for sale, this is the strategy I have come up with. This house, well, we're going through each property here. You're talking about the house, what it's like. You've given them a copy of the listing sheet from the MLS. You've highlighted what's similar. And then so how many beds does this one have on Peanut Butter Way? How many bedrooms does this one have on Strawberry Jam Way? Did you get a chance to see that? This is across the street, this is down the road. That kind of a conversation with each property. And then we're going to go into our marketing strategy.
I have a question, Jody.
Yes.
Are there adjustments done in the Century 21? You know how in the MLS you have the option to do adjustments?
Yes, there is.
There is. Okay.
Yeah. But you have to do it yourself. The marketing team's not going to do adjustments for you, but they will do everything else. And you can go in and update this after it's done.
Okay.
Okay, so here is our strategy. Market value is, okay, so this property that is just like yours sold for this, that's what I'm thinking is the market value. This one is a little nicer. This one's not quite as nice. So based on this property here, based on the market over the last 3 months being kind of flat, I think your house is probably worth around 500,000. Now, this one isn't as nice, but it's on the market for 475. This one has an extra bedroom and it's on the market for 550. So there's three ways we can price your property. And this is what I want to talk about. Number one, we can start below what we think it's worth to create a bidding war. We will put it on the market instead of 500, we'll put it on at 480. It's still above the 475, but I think it will get people to like think about it. Now, a lot of agents out there have buyers that they've been showing houses to over the last few months. They are waiting for a house to come on the market, possibly in this neighborhood. The first deal you get could be the best one you're ever going to get. So don't discount the first deal and think I can do better. Sometimes the first deal is the best deal. So you'll know when we start, whether we start at the under what it's worth price, or we can start at the what it's worth right now price, not fool around, do an open house right away, don't do coming soon, just put it on the market, let it go. Or we can put it, if you really wanted to try to get 525, we could start there and see what happens. And if it doesn't sell, we can reduce the price. So out of the three, which do you think is the best way to begin? And in my CMA that I gave them and they looked at, I had the closing net sheet for each one of these strategies. So I had it selling at, like if I started at 480, I would started at 480, sale price of 530. And maybe it would even go higher. If I start it right at 5, sale price of maybe 525. If I start at 550, sale price of maybe 525 again, but the three different strategies to give them idea of what is happening out there. People want to know, they're reading about it, they're talking to friends and family. Oh, the guru that is in charge of this area, they always do this. There's always like a gimmick, and most people you think aren't very gimmicky. I'm not gimmicky, but if I want to get the listing and not lose it, I will play that game. So then once they decide what they want to do, you put the price in the listing agreement and turn it around and let them sign. Okay, so write it in the contract. Turn around the listing agreement so they can sign. Great. All we need to do now is sign the contract so I can help you get what you want in the time you want. Okay. And that is the listing presentation. So I just want to stop for a minute. The rest of the handout has everything in there. Next week, we're going to have another session. You probably have, if you're brand new, you probably have questions. So I'd just like to know what kind of things you guys are thinking. You have to unmute yourself.
Okay, I'm gonna unmute.
Right this moment, Jody? You
I
wanna-
thought this was very helpful.
Sorry.
Good.
I
It
love
made
the,
sense.
yeah, and I love the tools that we have, and of course, the people that we have available to us, because that's nobody else has it that I talk to. Nobody.
A lot of agents don't even know what tools they have in their company. And I'm telling you, sometimes you'll get the listing because you got there 5 minutes early.
Mhm.
When you put in your best foot forward for each part of the job, it
Mhm.
says something about you.
Mhm.
Sometimes you get the listing because you showed up at all. A lot of agents, they don't even show up. Oh, I thought it was tomorrow. I'm sorry. They keep thinking all day, they put it off. You know, agents traditionally we're independent contractors. No one knows what you're doing, or you should be doing, or you're supposed to be doing. No one your manager doesn't know any promises you made to people. So if you had a bad day, if your kids did something at school, something could have happened, and you like, oh, that's right, I was supposed to be at that out. You know, it's only a $30,000 commission, you know.
Use your iPhone, people.
Yes, put an alarm in your iPhone. Yep. So that's it. Thank you for coming.
Thank you
I
for taking the time
Thank
to
you.
do this.
Thank you,
I
Jill.
appreciate you. All
Thank you.
right. Take
Appreciate you.
care.
Thanks.
Thank you. Bye.
See you next week.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.